Hey guys, Aaron Fisher here with another episode of the Card Magic Minute. This is my chance to share with you some of the important lessons that my students are learning all the time when we work together during the course of my personal online training program. Today I want to talk to you about literally the first thing you need to learn if you want to do magic with cards. It's called the dealing position, or as I like to refer to it, how to hold a deck of cards. It is amazing to me how many students and magicians I see all over the world who are trying to learn some advanced sleight of hand concepts or tricks, but they haven't learned the most basic thing that we need to know, how to hold a deck of cards. Now, I know it must seem strange that you'd have to relearn to do the one thing you've been doing with cards since you were 5 years old playing Old Maid with your grandma, how to hold a deck of cards or give them a little mix. But it's important to understand when we say natural card handling, we don't actually mean natural card handling, because natural card handling isn't considered at all. Your grandma takes the cards, she puts them in her palm, the thumb's up here, the fingers are up here. If you have to deal the cards off, you either have to move them out of the way or deal them off the front of the deck. And the important thing to note about all of these natural ways of holding a deck of cards is that none of them allow you to do sleight of hand or magic. We're actually much closer to directors of movies when we create our magic effect. And this is really an important thing to understand. I remember the first time I walked on the studio backlot. It was Warner Brothers. And they have a whole city back there that you can walk through, and it looks just like any city you want it to look like, whether it's New York or Main Street, USA. And it's completely believable when you're looking at it and experiencing it from that vantage point. And of course, if you walk around the side of that set, you realize that it's wafer thin. These are flats. They can be wheeled in, wheeled out. They can be changed. You can pull out a building so you can put in a large crane to put a camera right in that spot to get the exact angle that you want. Even though if there were a real city there, it would be impossible to have a camera there because there'd be a large brick wall brownstone exactly where the camera is. So what we're trying to do with our card handling is create the exact same kind of experience that a movie director is trying to create, which is something that looks natural, feels natural. You never notice the difference, but for the artist trying to create the story, the set is completely adaptable. For that reason, the very way you hold a deck of cards establishes everything that we will do in the course of natural card handling. So for that reason, it's going to look natural and feel natural, but be completely adaptable. So, when you hold a deck of cards in dealing position, the thumb's on the left side, the first finger's around the front, the three other fingers are along the right side. Notice that the first finger and the second, third, and the fourth fingertips appear just over the top edge of the deck. They're not way up high as they might be if you were just naturally putting the cards in your hand. Same thing with the thumb, which I talked about this on another episode of the Card Magic Minute. That thumb is aligned with the left side of the deck and goes no further than the front edge of the cards. Now, students always complain, oh, I have big hands. Oh, I have small hands. This should change for me because my fingers are different and special. Not so. That's a serious urban magic myth. From the audience's position, good dealing position looks the same from the front, no matter how big your hands are. So if you have gigantic hands, or whether you have small hands, the only difference that should be apparent to your dealing grip should be from your view. It should be a question of exactly how much space is underneath that deck. If you have big hands, that'll be a big well. If you have little hands, that'll be a very little well. But from the front position vantage point, it should always look the same. Of course, if you have bigger hands, you'll have to move the deck further forward in your hand in order to get that same position. And it won't be that way if you have smaller hands. It'll just more naturally, comfortably rest in that position. But in any case, when you begin to hold the cards this way, with the first finger at the front, which should never ever move from that position, now you can relax and know that the cards will naturally rest between the first finger and the second finger as you relax the cards slightly to the right. And now you don't have to grip the cards at all. This is a really, really important concept. Because when you have to grip the cards at all, there is so much tension already, so much pressure that you're applying to the cards. How will you ever know what pressure you're supposed to add or remove when you go to learn things like how to shuffle or how to do a card control? It's very important that the cards rest in what I like to call a nice, neutral grip, meaning with no pressure on them of any sort. So in this position, my thumb could lift up and it wouldn't change the position of the cards at all. Keep in mind, this will take a little bit of practice to acquire. It's not going to seem natural to you at first. As I said to a student just the other day, we don't do what feels natural, because he was complaining this didn't feel natural. We do what looks natural, and then we practice it like hell. And so this is one of those situations. Imagine the deck of cards is like a few eggs, and imagine that your hand is like a basket. You wouldn't just drop the eggs in the bottom of a wicker basket. You would have a napkin in the basket, and that napkin would serve to make the eggs seem to fill up the basket in the same way that you want the deck to fill up the basket of your hand. So what that means is you want to let your fingers couch down around the cards so that in reality, the deck is really very much resting on the base of this first finger, like so, with that well behind that we just talked about underneath, and that perfect facade at the top of just the fingertips, just the first finger, and the thumb going no further than the front edge of the pack. Once you begin to understand how this looks and feels, the next thing you want to do, and this is also very important, is learn to make sure that when you pick the deck up, it goes right into that position. At first, you'll be doing this a lot. And that's okay, because what you're trying to do is find the exact perfect position. But very quickly after that, if you want to get this lesson and really own it so that you can move on, learn how to pick the cards up and place them directly into that position so that you can begin performing at that point and feel nice and natural and comfortable with a completely adaptable grip. After that, the next step will be that eventually you'll be able to pick up the cards, drop them into your hand, and they will fall directly into this perfect, wonderful dealing position, which will allow you to continue and do any magic that you want. Well, that's today's Card Magic Minute, and I really do hope you enjoyed it. So please, please, please drop me an email with any ideas, questions, or comments you have, and especially notions about what we might do in further episodes of the Card Magic Minute. I've been getting a lot of really, really wonderful comments and ideas lately, and I really do appreciate it. And in fact, I've gotten a lot in just the last week about the double lift and the double turnover. So if you want more information about that, you can sign up for my mailing list at aaronfishermagic.com, and you'll get an immediate instant download that you can watch, which is like a 15-20 minute lesson on the double turnover, double lift. So you'll really be able to appreciate all the interesting ideas that I've got planned for you on that very topic. You can email me. I'm Aaron at aaronfishermagic.com. You can follow me on Twitter at aaronfishercard, and you can even find me on Facebook. My fan page is Aaron Fisher, Sleight of Hand Artist. Thanks again for watching, and we will see you really soon.